Hello and welcome to another video. As advertised, this week I'm going to be going through some secondhand craft supplies that I've acquired. I got a box at a yard sale and then I got this bag of goodies. I earlier already went through the bag of buttons that was in here and I've sorted them out. So these are the buttons. I've sorted similar ones. These bags all had single buttons in them that came with clothing or whatever, and I just gathered all the similar ones that went together in two little bags. For example, this is my red bag, this is my small pearly white bag, and then I have some that just have pairs in them, and then these are all around the same size and in the same color story. When I ran out of bags, I started stringing them together like beads, and all the sets are just tied together with string. This is my button bin. I got it from my mother-in-law. It was filled with buttons when she gave it to me, but I've been slowly using all the buttons. So I'll put these bags in here. I also got all of these cards of buttons, which I'm going to keep on the cards because I think that's pretty. I'm not sure how I'm going to store them yet. In that giant Ziploc bag, I also had all of these belt buckles. I believe these are for overalls. I have this mini chest of drawers that I got from my sister. She got it from the thrift store. Anything that has a bee on it, she gives to me because my name means the bee. This drawer is filled with all of my bag making supplies. Let's see if I can at least get the buckles in. Not super organized, but I think it'll all fit. This drawer has little doodads in it. I keep my eyelets in here, as well as other. This drawer just has some tins in it. I think this has enough space for my button cards. There's also these, which are apparently, they're plastic bone rings for cafe curtains, curtain tiebacks, pot holders, and buttons. So I'll put those in here as well. And this lives up here. I also got a handful of laces. These are all single laces. I have a feeling that they're from sweaters, the drawstring and the sweater hoods. So I've just rolled them up neatly and I will put them in my lace pouch. I have this pouch I got at the dollar store probably 7 years ago, and I store all of my shoelaces in here. I use shoelaces when I make drawstring pouches. They're perfect for the ties, so that's probably what these will turn into. I saw these and I thought they were funny because they're called bachelor buttons, as if bachelors don't know how to sew. It says labor savings security. They're reusable buttons so that you don't have to sew on buttons. There's 2 cards of them, so I'm gonna keep these. So that's everything organized that was in that Ziploc bag, as well as just loose in this bag. But now there's another bag in this bag. There's some lace and then a curtain hook in here. So this will go in my lace basket. This is mainly just a whole heck ton of zippers. So I'm gonna sort these out now. Okay, a bunch of the zippers were just like downright broken. They only had like half of the zipper teeth, so I just threw them out. Some were really dirty, so I just threw them out. And some I'm not gonna keep, I'm gonna give away because I don't think I'm gonna use them. There was also a tiny Canadian flag in there, as well as whatever this badge is from. I got 3 pretty long invisible zippers, 8 regular type zippers, either with plastic teeth or metal teeth, 3 specialty zippers. This one is a separating zipper that would be good for a jacket or something. This one is a 2-way zipper, which would be nice for a bag. And then another separating zipper that's like in brand new condition. There was also a bunch of Velcro. Personally, I don't use Velcro. I kind of hate it. I think it's a texture thing. So I'm just gonna give these away. This is the bin I use to store my lace. I got it at the thrift store a couple years ago. I have a lot of lace. I don't use lace very often, but people give me lace a lot. So this will just live in here with the rest of my lace. And this box just lives below my sewing machine. How I normally store zippers is I just shove them into this pouch that I got from my friend. There's zippers in the front pocket. That's a separating zipper, so it's special. And the rest are just various different kinds of zippers. I don't think that this is a very efficient way to store your zippers. I just got this box from my sister. She got it from the Goodwill bins. I told you she gives me any kind of box that has bees on it. It says be kind on it. So I'm thinking I can just roll the zippers and stick them in this box. Don't know if that's super efficient still, but at least then I can see all the zippers that I have. Well, they all fit. It's not the most organized, but they're together. That concludes everything that I got for free for Secondhand Craft Supplies. Now we'll delve into the bin that I paid $4 for. I paid $5 for. Here is the aforementioned bin. I did have it all organized, but then I dropped it because this handle is broken, so everything fell on the ground. So we'll reorganize it. There's this little Tupperware container filled with thread. It's always useful to get more thread. Some never before opened color ball pins, size 17, 1 16th inch, more snaps, a few cards of those, Stitch Witchery. I never use this stuff, so I'll probably just donate it. There's this, which is magnetic. It's a magnetic thread organizer. I don't know why it's magnetic. Maybe that's so that you can put your needles there, and then I guess you put the thread here. This is for cross stitching. I've never cross stitched, but it also has relevant information here. And then I guess you can write the colors of the thread that you're using there. There's some measuring tape. It's in centimeters. And then the other side's also in centimeters. It says Metric Commission Canada. There's another measuring tape. This one is 8 yards long. I've never had a measuring tape that's that long. So this one seems to be entirely in inches. And it says on it like how many yards it's at, which is also neat. So 7 5/8 yards. I've never had a measuring tape like this either. More Velcro, definitely going straight back to the thrift store. Some purple knitting needles. Susan Bates, it does not say what size it is. I would guess they're about 5mm. More Stitch Witchery, but a different brand. I believe this is a pom-pom maker. It says Susan Bates on it. I'm not sure how it works though. I thought that it was supposed to clip together so that you could make pom-poms with it, but I don't see how these clip together. Some brass silk pins. These are fancy, and I believe they're brand new and vintage. I'm excited about this. A zipper, circular knitting needles, a blue zipper. This will definitely get used because everything I make is blue. More laces, zipper, zipper, laces, ribbons. They're held together with a clothespin. They're pretty. I like these colors. A pill container. I think it's a pill container filled with small white buttons. More lace, seam binding in various colors and types, twill binding. So this is stretchable seam binding, and then bias tape. I don't know what these rings are for, but there's 4 of them. 2 patterns, one for a poncho hoodie and one for Mrs. Junior sized pajamas. Quite a few iron-on patches in various colors. Buttons. These are pretty. I like the shiny buttons. A postcard to the Rockies. More button cards. A pair of scissors. And this. This is metal cross-stitch tin, and it has a bunch of sewing tools in here. This is definitely less of a haul than the bag of stuff that I got for free. I love going through people's sewing supplies and seeing what they find useful. So what I'm keeping, the little pair of scissors, all of the iron-on patches, the pill bottle filled with buttons, the orange bias binding, and the blue rayon seam binding, the 3 ribbons, the tin filled with different sewing tools, 2 cards of buttons, the measuring tapes, the 2 containers of pins, the small Tupperware of thread, and 4 zippers. For $5, I still feel like this is a pretty good haul. All of this stuff would probably cost quite a bit more if I were to get it brand new. So now I'm just gonna put these away. I'm also keeping all of the laces. These laces have partners, and those other laces did not, so I can actually use these in shoes. This is my bias basket. I store all of my homemade and store-bought bias tape in here. That's where those will be stored. Ribbons in my bias basket too. In front of my desk, there's a little organizer here. I store my scissors up here, and that's where these are gonna go because these are gonna be paper scissors for me. This little basket holds my measuring tapes. So I'll stick those measuring tapes in here. These pins, I'm just gonna take the paper off, and then I'm also gonna store these up there. These pins I'm going to store in my hand sewing drawer for whenever my other pins get dull. These I'm going to store in this little drawer. These I need to go through more in depth, but I don't have time right now because I need to go to work. Thread will just go in my thread box. It's the next day and I'm here to show you the last of my thrifted craft haul. This container is very nice. I think I might cover it because I don't really like the design here, but it has a magnet on the inside, which is really nice for holding needles or whatever. This is dirty, so I'm gonna have to clean it. There's a bunch of knitting tools. I'm not sure what this is, but I know for sure that this is a cable needle. This is a stitch holder for knitting, though it's also sharp, so it can be used as a giant safety pin. This is, I believe, a knitting tool. It has like a knitting needle on this side and a crochet hook on this side. I think it's used to pick up stitches when you're knitting and you've dropped a stitch. I've never done that before, but I think that's what this is for. This is a tiny crochet hook. It's 1.25 millimeters. I thought that this would be smaller than 1.25 millimeters. I've been seeing micro crocheters and they use like 0.25 millimeters, like without the one. So like 4 sizes smaller than this. And I already think that this is tiny, so I don't know how micro crocheters do it. This is a tool that is both a whistle and a magnifying glass. It doesn't appear to magnify things super well. It also needs a clean. This is just your regular old stitch ripper, but the ball is missing. This is a thread cutter for airplanes. There's a blade in here, but you can't hurt anybody with it because you can't have scissors on airplanes. These are some fancy bougie tapestry needles, which I also will want to clean because I put needles in my mouth and I'm assuming that other people do too. And last but not least, the bougiest thing in here, this is a gold-plated crochet hook. It's 14K gold size G by Oxmoor House. So I'm gonna have to make something out of this with this hook because this is the bougiest crochet hook I've ever held. That concludes my secondhand craft haul. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it interesting how I store my craft supplies. And I hope this inspires you to look for ways that you can get your craft supplies secondhand, because people say that sewing and knitting and stuff is really expensive, but it doesn't have to be. If you can get any of these things secondhand, then you're also saving the world as well as your wallet. Thank you so much for watching this video. My next video will be a scrap video where I use up my fabric scraps to make curtains. That's everything I have to say about that. I hope that you have a lovely day, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!